So UFC 282 absolutely fucking sucked. And it really pains me to say that because the UFC always puts on two stacked cards, one in July and one in December. And with this show being the last show of the year, they always try and end it with a bang. They've done that since 2007. So when the UFC decided to put this fight together, this specific fight card, after all the drama that insinuated, I just knew that all the magic, all the buzz, all the hype surrounded by this fight was gone. So how do we get here? UFC 282 was originally supposed to be headlined by Glover Teixeira and Yuri Prochazka, a rematch from UFC 275 June of this year. Great fight, epic fight. I'm sure a lot of people were looking forward to the rematch. Apparently Yuri got hurt. His arm is torn off in training, and he has one of the worst shoulder injuries anyone has ever seen in the fight game. Decides not to hold up the division and decides to vacate his title like a very honorable and noble man. Doesn't want to make people waiting, doesn't want to cause a logjam in the division. So the UFC went to Glover and asked Glover if he wanted to fight Magomed Ankalaev, a.k.a. the Russian Abraham Lincoln. Glover said no. He wants to fight him in Brazil. He wants to do it on his terms, wants more time to prepare. But the UFC needed Glover to fight him right then and there on December 10th. He wouldn't do it, so Magomed's original opponent for that same night, Jan Blachowicz, was offered the title fight, and that fight was bumped up to the main event of the evening, 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. And all around, it wasn't a bad card. Out of 12 fights, there were 10 finishes. But the big black eye that is on UFC 282 happened in the final 2 fights between Paddy Pimblett, Jared Gordon, and of course Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz. It was a pretty lackluster main event. And I wasn't too hyped on this main event, mainly because these two dudes can't sell ice to Eskimo. They can't sell water to a thirsty man in the desert. And at the end of the day, this basically falls back on the pay-per-view model that the UFC has. Since they signed with ESPN, sure, they have to put out tons of fight nights and tons of pay-per-views week after week, month after month. But in the end, if your name is not Conor McGregor, Paddy Pimblett, Sean O'Malley, if you're not somewhat of a superstar, you are not going to last in this game, and no one's going to want to watch you fight. I guarantee you this fight bombed when it came to pay-per-view buys, and it did not help that this fight was terrible. This fight needed a clear-cut winner, not a draw, because no one wants to see these guys fight again unless you're a hardcore like I am. So it sucked for many reasons, but at the end of the day, it was a alright, decent card, but it could have been a lot better had there just been better components in the main event. The UFC light heavyweight division has been in shambles since Jon Jones left it, and I don't know if it could recapture that buzz that it once had back when Jones and Cormier were beefing every month. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Will UFC 282 do good on pay-per-view buys, or will it be one of the worst events of the year? Because if you look at all the events that happened in the calendar year of 2022, a star is fought on each and every one, from Israel Adesanya to Francis Ngannou to Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington, Korean Zombie, Volkanovski, Aljamain Sterling. There have been nothing but bona fide superstars fighting on each and every card this year, and we've been spoiled by it. And it ended off with these two dudes that can't sell water to a thirsty man in the desert. I find it very disappointing. But again, it's your boy Hollywood AJ. Stay safe, stay smooth. Please like and subscribe. Keep it 100. I'm out.